Alright guys, we have another cheating video today, or do we? And that's what we're going to work out. As you know, it's very unclear a lot of the time in ESO whether you got desynced, if it's a bug, just poor server performance. It's so hard to tell a lot of the time whether someone's actually cheating or if it's just ESO being ESO. And this video had me very worried, and we're going to talk about why that is a little bit later on in the video. But first off, let's check the clips out. Okay, so you have a guy coming in, it looks like the two-handed gap closer or something, onto the group, basically bombs the group, and then the player does drop a meteor on the enemy here, and it doesn't pull them out of stealth, which is unusual, but it is something that happens with Sorks and Streak. It just does happen. I've experienced this a fair bit from both sides, hitting people with meteors and also being hit with meteors. So nothing here screamed cheat straight off the bat. So let's have a look at the second. Okay, now that definitely looked like the guy come out of the floor, didn't it? We can slow it down here and have a bit of a look, but it definitely looks like someone is coming through the floor. Now, this isn't what's happening here, and we have one thing that we normally do not have, and that is the other perspective, the perspective from the bomber. So let's have a quick look at those two clips from the bomber's perspective. And then we'll discuss what is going on here, because it still definitely looks like this guy is coming through the floor. And as we know, that's not a good thing. So let's see them from his point of view, and maybe we can learn some more. Alright, there's a fair bit to unpack here. Now, there's probably some people in chat that already know what's going on here. But for those that are in the dark, this guy is obviously porting into IC. And normally you would have to open up your menu, go in there, select the thing, and port in that way. And obviously, while you're in combat, that is very impractical. So there is an add-on, multiple add-ons in this game, that let you keybind a button or some other conditions that will basically automatically port you into IC or into Cyrodiil if you're in IC. The add-ons were originally developed to save TV, basically. If you're running around with a 100k TV and Zerg comes and runs you down, you can kind of get out. That's the add-on. We're going to discuss my thoughts on that in a little bit later on, because I want to get to the bottom of what's going on here. We know what is happening, but what is that video of him coming through the floor? And we know this guy's not cheating, so why does it look like he's coming through the floor? And does this really throw into question every other clip in the game of people coming through the floor? And that was my big concern when this all started, was holy shit, how are we going to know if this is legit and looks like the other thing? How the fuck are we going to be able to tell? Luckily, the 6th or 7th time I watched this, I seen something. And once it clicked in my head, I couldn't unsee it. And I'm sure this will be for the same for a lot of you guys once you see it as well. I'll play the clip again of him coming through the floor. Now, think of the angle and the perspective that it is all getting taken at. Also, look at the player. Does the player look like he's actually coming through the floor? No. It's just it looks like the emblem is rising and the actual character isn't. This is very different to other clips of people going under the ground, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's that simple. It's the angle where he's coming out of stealth, looking at him from that exact angle that makes it look like he is rising out of the ground when he actually isn't. That leaves me with one big question. Two big questions, actually. The first being, how did this happen? How is this even possible? And the second is this cheating? Is this exploiting? Should people be banned for using this add-on? So the answer to the first question, I think, is pretty simple. Zos overlooked it. For those that don't know, back in the day, IC used to be part of Cyrodiil. You'd have to port into Cyrodiil, ride to the door, and go into IC. It wasn't its own instance, so there was no porting between the two. Zos obviously changed this, and when they did change it, I'm pretty sure they just overlooked the fact that you can port between the two. I think it's that simple. Now, the answer to the second question is a whole lot more complicated, and if you asked me this question 2 hours ago, I would have gave you the answer is no, it's not tuning. No, it's not exploiting. It's that simple. It doesn't break terms of service. But Zos being Zos they're apparently banning people at the moment for using a phishing add-on. I haven't looked into this, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but if this is true, it opens the floodgates for Zos to ban people using add-ons like this. Now, I highly doubt that it is as simple as these guys using a phishing add-on. There has to be more to it, more context, more something. Maybe they're botting while doing it. I don't know, but I will find out, and I'll get back to you guys about that. Maybe I'll post a video, so if I do, maybe subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. But yeah, like, it's muddied the water even more when it comes to these add-ons legit to use. Because pretty much the go with add-ons forever, as far as I'm concerned, is if the API lets it happen, then it's kind of good. You're good. If there is something happening that isn't intended to happen, Zos changes it and makes it not possible. So I don't know why they've just gone straight to banning people. As I said, there must be more to it. So maybe, for the time being, be a little bit cautious using these add-ons. I don't think someone using this is cheating or exploiting. I just don't think it is. It doesn't rise to that level. Yeah, it's a bitch move. Porting out mid-fight or mid-combat is bitchy move. There's no way about that. Like, honestly, there's not. But yeah, it's all up in the air now in regards to add-ons until I find out more information about what's going on with this other ban wave. Anyway, boys and girls, it's all been fun. This has been wrapped up in a neat, tidy bow, I think. And as always, I love yous and catch you next time. Peace.